So if you've ever been scrolling through Reddit, looking for ways to make a little extra cash, you have definitely seen them. These just incredible claims of life-changing money from some simple side hustle. But you gotta wonder, right? How much of that is actually real? Well, we've decided to sift through all that hype to find out what it really takes to make it.
I mean, you see posts with numbers just like this pop up all the time. This one, it's from one of the hottest threads over on the r Side Hustle subreddit. We're talking about users claiming they're pulling in an extra $2,000 to $5,000 every single month. Come on, it's pretty hard not to get excited when you see that.
And then you see this, $150,000. Yeah, one user literally shared their story of going from living in their car to making that much in just 15 months. And they did it all through Amazon's Kindle publishing platform. I mean, it sounds like an absolute dream, right?
Okay, but numbers like these, they raise a huge question, don't they? Are these people just 1 in a million outliers? Is there some kind of hidden catch we're not seeing? So that's what we did. We dug through all the top posts, thousands and thousands of comments to find out what is really going on behind these incredible claims. All right, so let's start by unpacking those big numbers. What does it actually take to earn that kind of side income? Well, as you might guess, the reality is often a lot more hands-on than the flashy headlines would have you believe. So what are the actual jobs behind that $5,000 a month claim? Let me tell you, we're not talking about clicking a few buttons on a website. This is high-effort, high-skill work. I mean, decorating and selling sugar cookies? That's a full-on craft business. Or how about providing emotional support for wealthy families? That is a super demanding service role. So the big takeaway here, these aren't passive streams of income. They're basically second jobs. And this brings up a key piece of advice that we saw over and over again in the comments. It's this: anyone can brag about gross revenue, but the smart hustlers, they focus on net profit, what you actually get to take home. Think about it. After you subtract the cost of your supplies, maybe some insurance, and the value of your own time, is it still worth it? That is the real question. Which brings us to probably the most controversial topic in the entire side hustle world: passive income. It's the ultimate dream, right? Making money while you sleep. But on Reddit, oh man, it is a total battleground between these incredible success stories and some really deep skepticism. And this slide really gets to the core of the debate. On the one hand, you've got that incredible Amazon KDP story we mentioned, a true rags to riches tale. But on the other hand, you have countless, and I mean countless, users saying the exact same thing. True, effortless, passive income is basically a myth, unless, of course, you're already well off enough to invest big money. So the crucial point that really came out of this whole debate is this: there's just no such thing as a free lunch. Writing a book and publishing it on Amazon, that's not passive, that's starting a business from scratch. The general consensus from the most experienced folks on Reddit seems to be that the only true path to passive income for the average person is, well, it's the slow, kind of boring one: long-term investing in things like ETFs and stocks. Okay, so if easy money is basically a myth, then what actually does work? Well, after digging even deeper, we started to piece together a real playbook for success, built from the collective wisdom of these Reddit communities. And this is it. This is the 3-step plan that Redditors kept bringing up over and over again. Look, it's not sexy, but it's real. Step 1, you have to build your active income. That's either your main job or a high-effort side hustle like doing handyman work. Step 2, you have to accumulate capital. You got to save the money you're earning. And only then, step 3, can you start putting that capital to work for you through actual investing. That's the realistic path. And this quote really sums up the whole mindset shift that's needed. The most successful people in these forums, they're not looking for a lottery ticket. They treat their side hustle with the seriousness of a real job because, well, that's what it is. It takes discipline, consistency, and plain old hard work. And across all the successful stories we saw, these core principles always held true. First, find that sweet spot between what you're good at and what people will actually pay for. Next, don't bet the farm. Start small to test the waters. Always provide real, tangible value. Nobody wants more AI junk. And this is a big one. Don't be afraid to make it legit with an LLC or insurance. And finally, talk to people who are already doing it. Seriously, their experience is absolutely invaluable.
So all this theory is great, but we all know the most important and hardest part is just taking that first step. So how can you actually get started, especially if you feel like you're beginning from square one?
Yeah, this is the big question, isn't it?
The one that stops so many people right in their tracks. What if I don't have a bunch of money to invest? What if I don't have a specific trade skill, like a plumber or an electrician? Well, the good news is there are still plenty of options out there.
So here are just a few ideas we pulled directly from Reddit that require very little, if any, upfront cash. You could learn to fix basic website issues for bloggers and charge, say, $100 a fix. You could start reselling cool stuff you find on platforms like Mercari. You could offer delivery services. Heck, you could even make a deal with local restaurants to take care of their cans and bottles. These are real, tangible ways you could start earning money.
And this right here might be the most important takeaway of all. Seriously, forget about making $5,000 a month right now. The real goal is just to earn your first dollar, to prove to yourself that you can create value and get paid for it outside of a normal job. Because once you earn that first dollar, earning the next 100 suddenly feels possible. It's all about building that initial momentum.
But hey, before you jump in head first, here's one final, kinda sobering dose of reality we saw from a veteran hustler on Reddit. This isn't just a hobby. Building something truly meaningful, even on the side, requires years of work. It might mean sacrificing some of your social life and personal time. It's a real commitment.
So at the end of the day, the question really isn't, how do I get rich quick? The real question you should ask yourself is this: what skill or passion or idea do you have that's worth earning your first $100? Because finding the answer to that, that's where the real journey begins.